pull up live stats right from our television truck.
All right, we're going through a beta test tonight.
We're going to a beta test.
All right.
Is that good or bad? I don't know. Do you have any beta blockers?
The blackout was lifted, but everybody out here is wearing silver and black, Al.
There's no question about that.
It's a wild crowd. It's a wild atmosphere.
You take your life in your hands in a 49er jersey as Michael Houston kicks off for Oakland. It's a good kick. It's fielded at the goal line by R.W. McQuarters, and good coverage on the Oakland special teams, taken down at the 16 by one K.D. Williams, who is fighting for a job as a starting linebacker, as well as special teams maven, the great Steve Young, who will someday be enshrined in Canton, and you can make that almost unanimous at this particular point, no matter what he does the rest of his career. Behind him, Charlie Gardner and Tommy Vardell. Stokes and Harris outside. Is the tight end, in the line the interior Fiore, Brown, Dolman, Deese, and Newberry. Gardner starts in the backfield. Lawrence Phillips is in uniform and is expected to play as Gardner chugs ahead for about 4 up to the 20. Tackled there by James Harris. Here is the Oakland defense, a base 4-3. Harris and Johnstone outside with Maryland and Russell, who went to the Pro Bowl last year, inside. Good tackles. Harvey, Beekert, and Folston are the linebackers. And the secondaries, good corners in the secondary with Woodson and Allen. Newman and Turner are the safeties. A lot of experience. Woodson, the Heisman Trophy winner, went to the Pro Bowl last year. Allen, the longtime Eagle and Saint. On 2nd and 7, Young's first pass of the game is caught by J.J. Stokes, and that's close to a first down. Jerry Rice not playing tonight. Terrell Owens not playing tonight, so their primary receiver is that man.
And the West Coast offense, everybody wants to know what it is. Well, it's short drops, it's quick decisions by the quarterback, and it's getting it into the receiver's hands quickly and allowing those players to run with the football and make the yardage after the catch.
1st and 10 up at the 27-yard line. Tommy Vardell is the sole back in this set. That's Mark Harris, 88, the man in motion. Here's the blitz, and Young throws and just throws it away as the heat was on.
A couple of the things, Al, that we have seen already in preseason is the blitzing by the defenses. It's always been somewhat of an unwritten rule not to do that. And in our first 3 preseason games, we've seen the blitzes coming. And you could see right here with the Raiders bringing the linebackers up the middle, unblocked. And Steve Young does the smart thing. Just throw it away, and let's see if we can make some more yardage on 2nd down.
There's Willie Shaw, the defensive coordinator, came over last year and really did a wonderful job in transforming this defense. This is Charlie, the ex-Eagle, up to the 29. He's tackled there by Richard Harvey. And one thing the 49ers will have to look for, Boomer, is a running back with Garrison Hurst hurt. They hope to have him back before the end of the year. And there is Garrison with an ankle injury that didn't heal. They've got Lawrence Phillips and Charlie Garner and a lot of praying.
You can take a look at my keys right here. One, you have to hope and pray that Steve Young stays healthy. You have to find a pass rush. They've lost Chris Dolman and Barker, who combined for 27 sacks last year, and then find that feature back to replace Garrison Hurst. 1,500 yards and 7 touchdowns.
They split Garner wide to the right this time. And Lawrence Phillips is in the game, but he's in there to block. And Young on 3rd down throws, and there's good coverage. Mark Harris was the intended receiver. Stride for stride was Darian Gordon, the ex-Charger and Bronco. And the 49ers will kick.
The games are important. You always want to win these games. But talking to John Gruden and Steve Mariucci yesterday, I had sense from Gruden that he really wanted this game. And Mariucci almost made us feel like they were mailing it in with 14 players not playing.
Mariucci just desperately afraid of injuries, and with a team that doesn't have a lot of depth, you can understand it. Back to kick is Chad Stanley for the 49ers, and it's a good high kick with a lot of hang time. Darian Gordon, the best ever at running back punts, statistically, in a career sense, brings it to the 26, 52-yard boot. 12:35 left in the opening quarter in Oakland, with the Raiders getting the football. From Kansas City, signed as a free agent, began his career with Minnesota, went to Washington briefly, and now here in his 12th season. Napoleon Kaufman, we'll see a lot of him with John Ritchie in the backfield, Brown and Jed outside, and Dudley is the tight end. And up front for the Oakland Raiders, Collins, Wisniewski, Robbins, DiNapoli, and Kennedy. We'll see a lot of Kaufman, but not at the beginning, because they're going to start with Randy Jordan in the backfield, number 28 in this set. on the second tight end in motion, and Gannon goes right to the air and hits James Jett for a short gain up to the 31-yard line, tackled by Mark McMillan. Now the 49er defense with a lot of injuries, and we'll detail that throughout the game. Washington, Buckner, Bryant, and Wilkins up front. We'll talk about Bryant Young a little later. Woodall, Tubbs, and Norton, great linebacking. And in the secondary, the Mac attack: McMillan, McQuarters, McDonald, and Merton Hanks. Now Kaufman is back in, and 5 from the 31-yard line, and they give it to Napoleon Kaufman, who exploits a big hole and is finally slowed down by McQuarters, but not until he takes it to the 46-yard line on a first down.
This is one of the reasons why you wanted John Gruden as your head coach, as the Philadelphia Eagle offensive coordinator. They had an explosive offense there, and what he can do for you is set up formations, and watch Tim Brown come around faking like it's going to be a reverse, and Kaufman finding the seam and hitting it right up the middle. Napoleon Kaufman's a guy I love because anytime he touches the football, he can make something happen. He's that kind of athlete.
Look at this set. They have everything but a punter in here. First down from the 47-yard line. Gannon on a roll and just throws that one away. So a different looking set for the 49ers. Not fool. Jeff Posey put the pressure on.
You know, and that's what guys like John Gruden can do for you when they get into an offensive meeting. They're not afraid to move people around, create mismatches, and they too are running a form of the West Coast offense, and you need a smart quarterback, a durable one, and one that can take the shot and throw the away and not take and lose yardage.
It is second down and 10. The ball at the 46-yard line. Opening quarter, no score in Oakland. Hoffman in the game, the tailback. And Napoleon seeks some room and finds next to none. Stop at the 47-yard line, a minimal gain. And there is one Charles Haley, and Boomer, in the truest sense of the word, a specialist.
He really is a specialist. He's there for past reasons. They lost Dolman, they lost Barker. That's 27 sacks. They have to figure out a way to get pressure on the quarterback. If you can put pressure on the opposing team's quarterback, it makes your secondary, whether it's tall or short, more effective.
And Bryant Young, who suffered that horrific injury last year on a Monday night game late in the season, but a guy who could conceivably play opening day, which is 2 weeks away. First flag of the game here. Phil Luckett is the referee.
You'll have movement on the offensive line. The Raiders here.
Ball starts. Offense, number 64. 5-yard penalty remains. Third down.
You can see here for the Raiders, I think that they have to have consistent play from the quarterback. That's Rich Gannon. They have to limit and create turnovers. You know, they're minus 44 in the 90s. They are the 3rd worst team in the 90s in that particular category. And then they have to find that consistent running game to take the pressure off again.
Third down and 14. Finds a wide open Tim Brown, who takes it to the 31-yard line. And Tim Brown, who's done his yeoman work for years in his 12th year out of Notre Dame, and a guy like that who's always in everybody's defensive plan rarely gets that open over the middle.
Well, it's a clear-cut zone, and when you run a guy through the zone, Tim Brown comes underneath the streaking receiver James Jett up the middle of the field and finds the hole opening. One of the things John Gruden was telling us yesterday, that he loves to work with Rich Gannon. He's smart, he's a student of the game. A real leader-type quarterback, the guy that he really wanted back there.
First and 10, ball at the 31-yard line. Kaufman slicing his way over the left side down to the 28. Second and 7.
Jeff George was here the last 2 years. The first year put up incredible numbers, but the team had only won 4 games. Last year blew out a groin and was seriously injured, and then there was some questions whether or not he was going to return at the end of the year. Some said that he said he wasn't, but he finally did. Wade Wilson played here last year, but they felt like they had to go out and get a guy that was going to be a leader and an inspirational type of player, and that's exactly what Rich Gannon is.
We'll see a little of Wilson tonight, and we'll see a little of the newly acquired Bobby Hoying over from the Eagles. Gannon looking for 6, and then overthrows James Jett.
Well, you can see the speed of Jett as he pulls away from the defensive backs of the 49ers. And Rich Gannon's reaction was he thought he could never overthrow the guy with that kind of speed, but certainly right there he did. He needed a little loft on that ball and just kind of lay it in there as opposed to driving it in there. That's the matchup you want. James Jett versus Merton Hanks. As good as Merton Hanks is, he cannot stay with James Jett.
Third down and 8. This is Oakland's first possession of the game. 6 minutes into the game with no score.
You can see right here Rich Gannon audibly at the line of scrimmage and then realizing that the play clock ran out on him.
Cost them a timeout. Timeout Oakland. John Gruden, one of those coaches who not only calls the but is on the mic. His headset connected to Gannon's timeout. It is Jim Mora Jr. Father is the head coach at Indianapolis, longtime Saint head coach. After the timeout, 3rd down and 8. As Gannon on a short drop has time to pump fake and then throw, and it's juggled and it's incomplete, intended for Kenny Shedd, who had just come into the game. Coverage provided by McMillan, and it's 4th down.
When you see Mark McMillan out there, you wonder, is he big enough to play? But in playing against him over the last few years, he is a physical corner. He will get in your face. He's only about 5'7", 165 pounds. Shedd has him beat, and Gannon tries to underthrow the ball to give Shedd an opportunity to make a play here, but McMillan stays there, stays with it, and knocks the ball away from Kenny Shedd.
The Oakland A's, of course, play here as well, so this field goal attempt now of 47 yards will come from where the shortstop normally would be positioned. So much of this field, the baseball dirt, the infield. So a 47-yarder off the dirt, Michael Houston, the former Tampa Bay place kicker, now in his first season with Oakland. And that one is good from 47, and he makes it by plenty. So the Raider opening drive pays off with 3 as Oakland takes the lead 6 minutes into the game. Year after year after year, and he's ready for his second series as the 49ers will take this kickoff, and it's a beauty as Houston sends it deep into the end zone where R.W. McQuarters downs it. Well, no game next week, no preseason action because the season is getting ready to start, and Monday Night Football begins with a bang. Year 30 in Denver 2 weeks from tonight at 9 Eastern time, 6 Pacific, the Dolphins and the Broncos. And as if that matchup of itself is not good enough, at halftime that night, John Elway will have his number retired in what will be a very memorable ceremony. So Miami and Denver 2 weeks from tonight, year 30 of Monday Night Football with Elway. From the 20-yard line, 1st down. Young turns and hands the ball off to Garner, who breaks it outside. Nothing happening inside, and he turns no gain into a 9-yard pickup run down by Anthony Newman.
This guy Garner was instant offense at Philadelphia, and when the Niners were thrust into a position of trying to find running backs to replace Garrison Hurst, who did they call to get a little bit of a background check on Charlie Garner? None other than John Gruden, the head coach of the Oakland Raiders, because he had him with the Philadelphia Eagles when he was the offensive coordinator. And you could see this nice spin move and getting outside, and he's quick, he's nimble, and he has good hands out of the backfield.
Nimble, quick, and he can jump over their stadium candlestick. And Garner gets stopped at the line of scrimmage or jump over a 3-count.
Well, see, I said you.
I love that.
Okay.
Russell Maryland in on that last tackle. So 2nd and 1 becomes 3rd down and close to 3, and there's a flag down.
Well, of course there's a flag down. There's a Raider game.
Amazingly, the 49ers had more penalties last year than the Raiders did.
That is an amazing statistic. One of the things that Steve Mariuccio told us yesterday, do not fight. Do not get caught up into pushing and shoving and grabbing each other's face masks after the play is over. Just get back to the huddle. Somebody did not heed his advice. Now, that's the meanest looking coach in football right there, folks.
Gruden looks like a guy whose team was penalized, not who'll be the recipient.
But he came in like that yesterday.
Yeah.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 62, during the continuing action.
That's Jeremy
Penalty
Newberry.
is half the distance to the goal. Repeat, 2nd down.
And they're taking him out of the game right now. And you could see right here.
This is post-play of, oh, well. You've got Lance Johnstone trying to stick a finger inside his face mask.
It almost looks like he moved his face mask towards the finger, didn't it?
Well, that's what Phil Luckett must have seen. Second down and 17 as Young gets sacked. Raiders with a lot of heat, led by Darrell Russell in his third year out of USC, the #1 pick in '97, had a fair rookie year but a great sophomore season.
And interesting, the pressure came from the outside by number 54, Greg Biekert, who is usually their middle linebacker. He was on the end of the line. He'll come around to the right of your screen. You see Russell come free and Biekert around the corner. Willie Shaw moving his players around on defense and creating deception and making it difficult for the 49er offense to find out where these players are.
In an age of specialization, Biekert is an anomaly because he's a guy, a middle linebacker, who's in on every play. Third down and 23. Young under pressure, and that's grounding, and if it is, it's a safety.
It should be a safety right here.
He's in the end zone. When you ground it in the end zone,
Number 8, enforcement results in a two-point safety.
I'll tell you this, Al. Darrell Russell came again. The other thing is, I'm Steve Mariucci. I'm thinking, you know what? Let me take it out of this game. You know, I don't know how much more. I don't know how much more you're going to want. Darrell Russell against Dave Fury. Dave Fury having a hard time dealing with him.
Whew. Well, that could be the end of Young. We don't know, but the Raiders tack on a deuce and lead 5-0. Sacker and the sackee right there.
Not a pretty sight if you're a quarterback.
Young and Darrell Russell. Russell with a sack and the safety, and now you have a free kick by Chad Stanley, and it's a very short kick that is fielded and then dropped out of bounds at the 38. And the Raiders will have it there. It's Kenny Shea. Let's go back and look at the play again, Boomer.
Let's take a look at it. You see Darrell Russell will be on the left of your screen, right here, playing against Dave Fury, and he'll rush. But really, one of the reasons that he gets here is because this is a screen pass, and Fury does his job, and Darrell Russell does his job, never quits. But you could see the 49ers trying to set a screen to the right. Just throwing the ball into the ground and forgot about it, but he tried to make something out of nothing.
Russell went to the Pro Bowl last year. So did Woodson, the first teammates under 23 ever selected to the Pro Bowl. So right future, obviously, for those two guys as Gannon from the 39 throws and it's dropped. Might have been tipped even. Napoleon Kaufman, the intended receiver. This preseason special from Oakland is being brought to you by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford Tough. The irresistible taste that makes you say McDonald's. And Miller Lite. Taste a true Pilsner. As we voyage across the Bay Bridge connecting San Francisco and Oakland. Made that trek yesterday.
It's always cloudy in San Francisco.
Yeah, it seems to be, but today was beautiful. Today is just
the whole area is just spectacular.
Second down and 10 from the 39-yard line.
Rich Gannon audibling again.
And this time they give the ball off to Kaufman, and he gets taken down immediately by linebacker Lee Woodall.
Talking about Napoleon Kaufman, he's the type of player where you want to get the ball in his hands in a whole bunch of different ways. Screen passes, you saw the play prior to this, they tried to throw him a little crossing pattern, hand him the football. He's not a big kid, but he is a player that is explosive, that can make people miss. He's certainly a guy that will have a bright future in this league. They have some terrific players in this team.
Third down and 7, a lot of talent, and the question is, will they be able to match the AFC West? A tough division as Gannon escapes. There's plenty of mobility, but not enough to get away from about 4 49ers led by Gabe Wilkins after Tim McDonald put the initial pressure on with a safety blitz.
The interesting thing about Gabe Wilkins that time is he's going against Matt Stinchcomb, the rookie #1 draft choice. Hopefully their left tackle of the future, and they want to see him tonight play an awful lot against the first-string 49er defense to see if he can handle the pressure. Right there, he didn't handle it very well. Welcome to the NFL.
Yes. Leo Araguz will punt. Good average last year, 43-4. The kicking ball is in. R.W. McQuarters. Most of you know by now that the different balls used for kicking situations this year, they haven't been rubbed up, stuffed up, microwave, toasted. Slicker and harder. Good kick. McQuarters fields at the 19-yard line and goes nowhere. have it 5:40 remaining in the opening quarter, with the Raiders on top 5-0. Far doing a marvelous job early on. Gardner is stopped right there. Young gets sacked there, and then of course the safety here. The intentional grounding as Russell plants Young in the shadow of the goalpost. And now at the 21-yard line, they give the ball to Gardner on a sweep. And Charlie runs out of room. I think, Boomer, it's interesting as we looked at that defensive package to think of the Raiders 2 years ago dead last in defense in the league, 30th out of 30 teams. And last year under Willie Shaw, 5th. There it is, first team since the Falcons in '66.
Well, a lot of that
97 allowed most rushing and passing yards.
I think a lot of that has to do with the addition of Charles Woodson and Darrell Russell, and you know, and these young players have really infused a lot of energy and excitement, and Willie Shaw is really using those guys to the best of their abilities.
2nd and 8 after the fake. Young had an open man. It was J.J. Stokes, and he couldn't handle it. And it will be 3rd down.
And J.J. had Eric Allen beaten on a little slant pattern. And, you know, those are the plays that you're used to seeing Jerry Rice reach out, make the catch, and take it for 6, running through the secondary of their opposing defenses.
Jerry Rice is not in uniform tonight. He is fine. I mean, he's Jerry Rice. So, in effect, he has a night off. But he will grace our airwaves at halftime, as we had a nice chat with Jerry yesterday on our halftime report coming up tonight. 3rd down and 8. Young and Steve looking for the sideline, and Mariucci praying he gets there before a Raider does, and he finds it.
You're not kidding, especially after what happened this past weekend in St. Louis, where the St. Louis Rams lost their quarterback Trent Green. And you know, preseason games are great, and everybody, you know, is looking at their players. They want to find out who's going to be able to play what position, but the last thing to lose your meal ticket, if you will. And this one right here, Steve Young is smart. He knows how to get out of bounds. He knows not to take any unnecessary hits, especially in preseason.
There is Terrell Owens. He has a shoulder problem, nothing major. If this were a regular season game, number 81 would be in there. On the 32-yard line, and 1st down. Garner again. Trent Green of St. Louis. Boomer talking about Green had been 28 for 32 in preseason. Their backup quarterback is Kurt Warner, not that old Kurt Warner in Seattle. Probably would have been a good quarterback in addition to running back, but the Kurt Warner who played with the Iowa Barnstormers in the Arena League for 2 years.
And also they traded, I guess, for Paul Justin of the Raiders, who was on the Raider roster this past week.
They did.
These are things that, especially with the salary cap, the way it's set up in the NFL, that there's not a lot of depth at places, especially where there's players making big money.
No truth to the rumor they're looking for Roman Gabriel's home number. Great fake, wide open, making the catch is Tommy Vardell, the once and present 49er, taking it to the 28-yard line. And I don't care who you put in the uniform number 44, whether it's Tom Rathman or Mark Edwards or Tommy Vardell, they all look the same.
And really, this is why you want an experienced quarterback back there. He doesn't get nervous. He knows he has a fullback of all players going down the middle, one-on-one on the middle linebacker. It takes a little time. Greg Biekert gets out of sorts a little bit, and Vardell shows good athleticism, turning around, making the play, and making the catch. Not many fullbacks in the NFL can make a catch like that down the field.
Tommy, a starter last year at Detroit. Young throws over the middle, and that's incomplete, intended for the sandwich Mark Harris, who gets up to look for a flag and finds none.
Staple in the 49ers offense is throwing the ball in the seams, trying to create mismatches, get your taller receivers against shorter defensive backs, and try to throw the ball over their head and let your receiver make a play. Steve throws his ball a little bit high. And again, he's throwing it to a guy, Mark Harris, who he's not real familiar with. When you have shorter defensive backs, those are mismatches for wide receivers.
Charles Woodson, the Heisman Trophy winner a couple of years back in the secondary. 2nd down and 10 at the 29. 5-0 Raiders. The play clock going all the way down. Young rolls, throws, complete, caught by J.J. Stokes, and that'll move the chain. Stokes has a 1st down.
Is that when you're able to audible to a play and you have the poise and presence of the field to understand that your receiver needs time to get open, and he stays on the move and delivers the ball accurately. You can see right here, he audible to this play. He sprints out to the left, and he's just giving Stokes a chance to get open. Stokes makes a nice move and makes a nice sure-handed catch.
49er drive that began back at the 21-yard line as Young has to go down, couldn't get to the sideline as he was chased down by one KD Williams, who's battling for an outside linebacker spot. The same KD Williams who a couple of years ago was a sky cap at the Tampa airport.
Well, they like KD because they like his speed, and you can see right there he made the break on Steve Young and made a nice tackle, but he is in a battle with James Folston as their strong outside linebacker, and that's what John Gruden loved. He loved the fact that he has competition for spots on his team, and he felt like he had a great training camp because of that competition and plays like this.
Second down and 11 at the 16-yard line. Action up front. And the flag, well, the flag just now goes down.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Which would mean that that's a defensive penalty.
Right. Normally you'd hear the whistle if there was contact, but obviously the officials didn't see any contact. Darrell Russell first across the line.
And it is defensive offside. That's why they didn't stop the play.
If the defender comes across the line and doesn't contact, the play keeps going. But nobody seemed to know what was happening there.
But never stop running. Every coach will tell you, if you have the football in your hand, you don't hear a flag, you just run and keep going.
The game in the backfield. They send him out into the pattern, and Young throws, and it's intercepted and is picked off by James Harris. Got a hand up and got the deflection.
What a play by a defensive end, and you can see that nowadays these defensive ends are true athletes. He just watched the eyes of Steve Young, put his hands up, and has soft hands, and at 6'6", 290, not a bad play for a big fella. Throw the ball and get their hands up, and when you have a quarterback like Steve Young who throws it softly, they can make the play.
Pays off for Harris. Raiders stem the 49ers drive as Kaufman takes the ball up to the 13-yard line. Gain of 2 with a minute 15 and ticking down left in the opening period.
Does it fit? Well, he certainly has his team playing tonight, especially defensively.
He's a very engaging guy as Gannon just has to throw it away under a lot of heat. Third down. Especially in preseason. Third down and 9. From the 12, Norton walks up to the line of scrimmage. And then goes back into coverage, and James Jett makes the catch, loses the football, and the 49ers have it. The play whistle dead is the question. RW, and what is Phil Luckett going to say?
The ruling on the field. The runner is down.
Oh, no way.
First down. Reviewing the play. The ruling on the field stands because the whistle had blown. The runner is down. It remains the first down.
Now this is exactly what the problem is with this system, and it always will be. I mean, the idea is terrific. You want to overturn the wrong call, but again, we've got it's what happened between '86 and '91. It's the inadvertent whistle.
Well, clearly James Jett not down and the ball's out, so right there the whistle is not blowing.
It would be reviewed because the whistle had blown and it wouldn't have been a problem. Anyway, it's a first down, and here is Kaufman. Are we going to have a lot of fun with replay this year? Well, it's the end of the first quarter, and we're only in preseason. I mean, we're going to have a little fun with this
You're
year.
getting all hot under the collar.
End of one. Well, you know, I like the rule. I like the philosophy, but the implementation. We're going to see a lot of this during the season because of the inadvertent whistle. We'll get back to it in a second as we start the second quarter. It is second down and 8 from the 25-yard line. Gannon chased by Wilkins. And then he steps out of bounds a little shy of the first down. That was a play that needn't have been reviewed to begin with.
Well, the thing that I would say is that even if they were going to review and the whistle had blown, I mean, clearly in the replay, James Jett was not down. The ball was out. So there obviously are flaws, and you can see right here that Bronson levels the hit. The ball is out. So the whistle, therefore, is not being blown right now. The whistle is being blown, I guess, here.
Well,
but the ball is out.
What you have as a bottom line is the wrong call on the field, and a is non-reviewable by replay. Apart from that, not a problem.
But think about where the position of the field where that was. If this were a regular season game, it was down inside the red zone of the Raiders, and the 49ers could have gotten a quick score there. I mean, and those are the types of plays that we're trying to correct to make sure that we get them right.
Well, it's what they refer to as the big ticket plays, and what you really want to have.
That's a big ticket play.
That's a big ticket play, but it's going to be the kind of play that's still going to create problems and will still be a fly in the ointment of this system. Some plays they can overturn, but others that are clearly the type that should be overturned just won't be because of the whistle. Araguz's kick off the side of his foot is fielded at the 25-yard line by R.W. McQuarters, and he's out of bounds up at the 30-yard line.
Did you see where he fielded that? On the sideline. Directional punting. Cut down the direction. Turner can take the ball with.
Early in the second, 5-0. Oakland down the sideline, and it's one thing to have that replay situation in a preseason game, and it's another, of course, in the regular season, and so that's why he is not completely frosted. Steve Stenstrom is the new quarterback. So Steve Young is done for the night. The Niners have one more preseason game at Denver over the weekend. So Stenstrom gets the call, and he hands the ball off to Bardell. Now the 49ers, a good battle for the number 2 spot at quarterback behind Young, and that's obviously a very important spot. Stenstrom figures into it. The Canadian Football League refugee as well as into it. Garcia, Jeff Garcia. Well, Garcia, we're going to see Jeff.
Okay.
And then Jim Druckenmiller, who was the heir apparent as of a couple of years ago.
Supposedly the heir apparent.
The number 1 draft choice we won't see tonight is the 4th quarterback, or one of the quarterbacks. And Druck just a
little yawning, a little tired. I saw him before the game. He was running around a lot.
Down 5 from the 35. Garner.
It's interesting with the quarterback situation here too. Bill Walsh has now taken over. He has been adamant.
We'll get to Walsh in just a sec. Let's go back. Here's natural sound. Let's go back to the replay and see when you hear the whistle.
Right there.
Right. That's the first whistle we hear. Okay, so did we miss a whistle? Maybe. I doubt it. But for what you hear right there, the whistle blows after the fumble was recovered. So not only did they screw it up on the call initially, and then on the replay by reviewing it as Fan makes the catch, but they're telling us there was a whistle that, well, one of our 814 microphones didn't pick up.
Our director, Craig Janoff, gets everything. And you could not. That's what we should just handle. There's Bill Walsh on. And as I was saying, he is now the general manager. He's taken over running this football team. And he knows Steve Stenstrom very well from his days at Stanford together. But one of the reasons that he's not enamored with Druckenmiller is because Druckenmiller is a big, tall guy. He's 6'5". He's more like Drew Bledsoe. And you can see how big and strong he looks there. The 49ers have always wanted a mobile quarterback. Somebody who can run very well and move and understands the nuances of this West Coast offense. When you're comparing them to Joe Montana and Steve Young, I mean, nobody's going to look that good.
Sure. Flag down. We'll get the call from Luckett.
Prior to the snap, false start, left guard, 5-yard penalty remains, first down.
Let's go to Leslie Visser. Leslie.
Al, we all remember the night, Alan Boomer, last November when Bryant Young had 2 bones in his lower leg shattered that Monday night against the Giants. It was a tremendous blow to the defense of the 49ers, but happy to report he's made a great recovery. How are you? How soon can you play?
I'm doing pretty good. As of right now, I'm on schedule to be able to play in the opener. Hopefully everything goes according to plan, and we'll see what happens.
You have a titanium rod in your leg. Are you able to do some hitting?
Oh, yeah. That's what I've been doing in practice, is hitting people and getting hit. So everything's feeling fine right now.
Well, Al, he said that it was a pleasure and honor just to put the uniform back on. Is that true?
Without a doubt. My first day out, I was kind of excited. It was like my first day out at practice as a freshman in high school. So I was excited to be back out there with the team.
That's a lot. Back to you, Al.
Thank you, Leslie. That's one of the real good feel-good stories in the NFL. I mean, when we saw that happen last November, I mean, it was just horrific.
No, and just what you want to do, you have a titanium rod in your leg, you want to get out there and start hitting again. It's an amazing, football players are amazing people when you think about it, when you just listen to stuff like that.
And he is a great player. Second down and 10 from the 41-yard line. Garner and fights his way close to a first down, tackled by Anthony Newman. On the subject of feel good, one that didn't end the way we wanted it to was Chris Spielman, Boomer, who was hurt the other night, had that neck surgery a couple of years ago, took last year off to tend to his wife who had breast cancer. Chris trying to make a comeback, but had to retire today.
I mean, how much more can that family endure? We talked to him for the Pro Bowl, the Hall of Fame game in our first game this year, and he was so excited about being out on the field, much like Young is, and all these other players that are coming back from injury, but to have to go through that again.
Well, Doc that he retired, he does, and the Browns have offered him a job in the organization. On 3rd down and 1, it's a quarterback sneak and a first down and a 6-yard pickup for Stenstrom. Now that's a quarterback sneak and a half.
Well, you know, he's in a battle. He's got to show his teammates that he's a tough guy, that he can make plays, and quarterback sneak doesn't seem like much, but there's a lot of things going on underneath that pile. So what he did, he said, I don't want to be underneath that pile, I just want to get through the pile. And what you try to do is you try to find a little seam in the deep, follow your big offensive lineman in front of you, and that's exactly what he did. Got behind Dahlman and Brown.
Garner, nice play, knifing through Richard Harvey, 10th year out of Tulane, the outside linebacker.
You look at the Raiders, you got to feel good about their defense. They have a lot of playmakers on their defense. They feel good about where they are defensively. They're healthy. Willie Shaw has been somewhat of a genius where he's brought this to, and he's really got them flying to the football, and pursuit defense is all about that.
Second down and 12 at the 47-yard line. Good protection. Stenson throwing over the middle, and they're seeing a lot of Garner tonight as he is stopped short of the first down. So we're seeing a lot of Garner, but very little of Lawrence Phillips, who has been in the game, but has really not been a part of it.
Well, he's a little banged up as well, too. He hurt himself in practice last week, and they weren't really sure if he was going to play or not, but I'm sure we will see more of him as the game goes on. He looked like before the game started that he was running around pretty good in practice. He looked pretty healthy, but they also want to find out what they have in Charlie Garner as well.
And you caught a glimpse of the 22 is Terry Jackson, who's a rookie out of Florida. And he's a guy fighting for a job. We'll see him at running back as well before the night is done. 3rd and 1. And Garner chugging his way across the 35, and that is a first down for San Francisco.
Stuff like that doesn't seem down right there, by not doing too much.
There, of course, that's the salary cap in essence, folks. You've got the ace, and then you got the rest of the hand.
Well, I mean, one of the reasons that they'll probably end up keeping Druckenmiller is because of the salary cap. If they release him, they would be charged $1 million against the salary cap this year, as opposed to the proration of the signing bonus. And that actually works in his favor, believe it or not.
Counting, figuring into everything these days. First down to the 34-yard line. And now we take a look at Lawrence Phillips for the first time. A gain of 4, and of course his story has been much documented through the years. His travails, his troubles with the law, the terrible incident as you look at Roger Craig, who's working with him, with his girlfriend, the battery, dragging her down a flight of stairs in Nebraska. Then he violated his probation with a DUI in California, spent time in jail. The Rams picked him for me, tried to shepherd him and babysat him. They had to get rid of him, went to Miami, didn't work out there, got into another scrape with the law, and now the Niners take a chance on him after he had a very good season in Europe this spring. But the NFL ain't Europe, says Richard Harvey.
Sooner or later, you got to wake up and figure out whether you want to do it or you don't want to do it. And if there was one thing that has really hurt Lawrence Phillips as a football player, is people feel like he's not as explosive as you would expect him. He's lost weight, and you could see him here in Europe. Now, this is similar to minor league football. This is a whole bunch of players that are still trying to get into the NFL. It's a good league. It's a solid league. It gives players a chance, but it's not the NFL, and the speed is not there, and the size is not there.
3rd down and 9. 49ers going with a guy like Phillips because they had a need, in effect. He's the kind of guy they wouldn't have touched with a 10-foot pole for years. Phillips. And he stopped short of the 1st down at the 28, tackled by.
You know, when you see that, Alan Beaker tackling Phillips, what you want is you want a running back to be able to break that tackle, catch the ball, break the tackle. Everybody wonders, why do you only throw the football, 5 yards when you need 10 for a 1st down? Well, it's up to the player who receives the football to try to break a tackle. And that's a big old middle linebacker tackling a running back who's supposed to be explosive. They're looking for broken tackles, and that's something that they haven't seen from Lawrence Phillips thus far.
It's a 47-yard field goal attempt by Wade, and it hits the goalpost. So the Niners can't cash in. George Stewart, the special teams coach, looking on, but his team is down 5-0. In the Bay Area, look at the Golden Gate Bridge.
What an area. If you've never been here to see all of these things, it's just it's fantastic.
Wade Wilson is the new Oakland quarterback, and he'll go deep on the first play and throws in intended for Rodney Williams. Here's a reminder coming up on ABC Tuesdays this fall. Sheila Ward, she is a terrific actress, and Billy Campbell in a great new show once and again Tuesdays this fall on ABC.
All right.
Sheila Ward was once a cheerleader at Alabama. How's that?
Way to go, Al. Doing your homework on the ABC cast members.
2nd down and 10 from the 37-yard line as Wilson gets buried back at the 30
and fumbles
and loses the football.
I think the Raiders recovered.
Barrett Robbins, the center.
Well, Wade Wilson, what, is 40?
Yes, he is. 2nd oldest guy in the league. Only Warren Moon is more elderly.
John Gruden said he loves having Wade Wilson around. He's great for the young quarterbacks that he has on his roster. He also knows Rich Gannon very well. But take a look at this. My friend Warren Moon is 42 years old. Can you believe?
And you've got 2 QBs and a kicker. Boomer, your phone's going to be ringing pretty soon. I'm telling you.
Because of a trip, guys keep getting hurt. You never know.
3rd down and 16 from the 31-yard line. Wilson throwing underneath, and it is a short gain. It is Randy Jordan who hauls it in, but it's 4th and long, and the Raiders will punt. John Gruden actually got his first coaching job with the 49ers under Seifert in the early 90s. Went to Green Bay. He were on the same staff for 3 years under Mike Holmgren. Then he went to Philadelphia under Ray Rhodes when Rhodes got the job there, was the offensive coordinator.
And then he went somewhere to learn how to make faces.
He did. He did. He's a good guy.
He is a great guy, and he's that triangle now that's developing as the 49ers, the Packers, and the Eagles.
Araguza's kick is taken in by Damon Griffin, and down he goes up at the 31-yard line. Roll around in the infield dirt. It's 4:06 to the half. And it remains a baseball score in the home of the A's, 5-0. Joe Theismann and Paul McGuire will be there, and Boomer and I, along with Leslie, to Denver the next night for ABC's Monday Night Football. Miami against Denver, and huge news just coming out of Denver, which we'll talk about. 1st down from the 31-yard line. Stenstrom going over the middle by Mark Harris, who breaks the initial tackle attempt to the 48. Boomer, Mike Shanahan has just announced within the last hour or so, I would assume, that Bubby Brister is not going to start. His #1 quarterback is Brian Griese, and there it is. That is exactly what Mike said. Not that Bubby hasn't played to the level he thinks he can, but Griese's played so well through camp, deserves the opportunity, meaning Brian starts in the final preseason game against San Francisco on Friday, and there it is at the bottom of the screen, their numbers in preseason. Phillips swings to the outside, taken down after a gain of 5 yards by Eric Barton.
Now, Coach Shanahan might also believe that Bubby Brister could be better coming off the bench, and where Brian Griese is playing exceptionally well. When you have a young quarterback in a lineup like that, that also forces other players around him to play better. You can't defer to an older veteran quarterback. So it's not something that I would say is so, especially if you're a Denver Bronco fan and you watch some preseason, but Bubby might be better suited coming off the bench.
It's pretty startling news, all things considered. 2nd down and 6 from the 48-yard line is Stenstrom. Flings it to the outside, and Mark Harris makes the catch.
You like to see that kind of throw by a quarterback that's from the far hash all the way over to the sideline on a rope, and it's nice and accurate. It's low and away, and these are the types of things that you want to see from your young quarterbacks. They get back to the ball with authority and confidence.
Well, John Elway, as you look at that pass, thrown on a rope, as Boomer says, the stats for Greasy last year: 1 of 3 for 2 yards and an interception, and he replaces John Elway. So it'll be pretty fascinating from the 42-yard line. Here's Phillips swinging to the outside, and that's why they go out and get a guy like Phillips right there. The 49ers waiting for him to show a little something. He showed a little something on that run.
He is showing a little something, and it's about time because they've invested a lot of time, a lot of PR in him. And he hasn't broken a lot of tackles up to this point, but that's something that you'd like to see in your big running backs.
We reach the 2-minute warning in Oakland, where the Raiders lead the 49ers in the battle by the Bay 5-0. Michaels with Boomer Esiason and Leslie Visser for a preseason game. Crisply played. Not a lot of penalties. Game moving along at a nice pace and tempo.
Yes, we like that.
Yeah. Don't put the hex on it.
No.
Stenstrom a perfect 6 of 6 with 2 minutes to go in the half. First down from the 30. And Steve has it knocked down the line of scrimmage.
Steve made a wrong read there. He should have thrown it out to the flat where he had one wide receiver out flanking the entire defense, and he had Damon Griffin all alone, and he zeroed in inside, force it to his tight end. If he hits Griffin, Griffin's probably running for a touchdown down the sideline.
There's Tom Rathman, the longtime 49er fullback, now the running backs coach.
Where did he go to school?
Nebraska.
Where did Lawrence Phillips go to school?
Nebraska.
Where did Roger Craig go to school?
Lincoln.
Big Red.
Lincoln.
Big Red.
Yes. That's the connection. Second down and 10. From the 31-yard line. Stenstrom guns it in. The flag is thrown. Charles Mincy knocked it away. Intended for Nail Benjamin.
Intended for Nail Benjamin. Penalty flag in the field.
And it's against the 49ers. Well, Jerry Rice is not in uniform tonight. He's fine. He'll be ready by opening day. But Jerry is going to be the subject of our Lexus halftime report as we
Illegal
get the call here.
formation offense. Number 74 was on the end of the line. Did not report as eligible. The penalty is declined, making it 3rd down.
Asked Jerry yesterday where he thinks he ranks in the pantheon of players all time.
I can't say I'm the best to ever play the game. I just can't. And, you know, I work hard, and I'm very determined. You know, I'll leave that up to the media, leave it up to the people. But right now, I feel like I'm just a little rookie. I'm just a rookie trying to make the team, so I'm out there working hard, trying to better myself.
All right, I'm in media now. I'm in media. I could say he is the best. He is the best I've ever seen, and he's a terrific role model for the players. Watch how to prepare and become a great player.
Well, the Sporting News ranked them all time, and they ranked Jim Brown 1 and Jerry Rice 2. Not bad company. Timeout. Beautiful shot of the San Francisco Bay with San Francisco in the background, Oakland in the foreground. Battle of the Bay in the home of the Raiders. After the timeout, 3rd down and 10 for the 49ers at the 30-yard line.
Oh, here comes the blitz. Get rid of it.
Look out. He got rid of it but paid the price. Receiver Morris Anderson who gets upended. He can't hold on. And it was Sam Sword. What a fabulous name for a guy on a blitz.
Watch Stenstrom standing here. He knows it's coming. He takes the hit. Coaches love to see quarterbacks take that hit and throw the ball accurately. Now, watch Henderson go up. A difficult catch, but a catch that's usually made by a 49er receiver. He's got his hands the wrong way. He's got to turn them around and snatch the ball out of the air and catch it, getting hit. Easier said than done, though.
Yeah. Wade Ritchie hit the upright on a prior 47-yarder. This one is a 48-yard attempt, and it's good. So one doink and then one through the middle. And George Stewart says, you betcha.
You take a look at that special teams coach. You want to miss too many of those field goals. Come over and see him.
No. Halftime show again, Jerry Rice.
So how was he, Al? I mean,
you know,
was he upbeat?
Very, extremely upbeat. Very much looking forward to another year. And very much at peace with himself, understands, you know, his role in this game and what it's meant through the century. I mean, Jerry has a complete understanding of what he means to the sport and also what he means to the 49ers. And we'll hear from him at the half, and he'll talk about how he perceives his role to be, a little bit about his career, Montana and Young and the rest. But when you talk about Jerry Rice, I mean, the only comparison I can make in this case is what Wayne Gretzky did to the National Hockey League record book. There's Rice, a whole bunch of others who are close together.
Was he, last year there was a little controversy about him not getting the ball, and he was a little angry with that, supposedly. And I guess I had read somewhere in the last couple of weeks where he is toning down that rhetoric. He doesn't want to tarnish his career, and he understands what he means to Owens and Stokes and also the 40. Was he?
Absolutely. There's no question about it, and he means it, understands it.
He's always been such a great player. It's been fun to watch. And there was a rumor back that when the Cincinnati Bengals drafted Eddie Brown, the 49ers they were trying to trade with the Bengals to get the pick for Eddie Brown. The Bengals wouldn't give up Eddie Brown, who in his own right was a great receiver.
Brown and Al Toon were actually picked ahead of Jerry.
Exactly. So the 49ers got left with Jerry Rice.
Yeah. Can you believe that? At the 3-yard line, the kick is taken in by Randy Jordan. To the 20. Last time the Raiders met the 49ers was 1994 in a Monday night game. Remember this play? Albert Lewis is trailing him. And they're going to go his way. And he's a record. He did it. Good call, Dan. I wouldn't have thought they would do it. They sent him in motion, and in the defensive backfield, Lewis trailed them, and it was Lewis with the coverage, but Jerry Rice is just unstoppable. Opening night in 1994, the pass is incomplete. That was the 127th career touchdown for Rice, and that broke Jim Brown's record, which had stood for 29 years, and Jerry has just kept adding and adding to that mark.
The longevity, the ability to be able to stay on the field all those years, to take the hits, to do it in such style and fashion, to make it look easy.
And Boomer, I've known Jerry a long time. I mean, he looks like he's about 25 years old.
You know, he trains as hard as anybody in the NFL, and even though it was a big part of the game prior to his arrival, but the run after the catch, the yards after the catch, is what he is most known for, I believe.
Second and 10, it's caught by John Ritchie as they flare it outside. Oakland trying to get into at least field goal range. Among the marks that Rice holds would be one that he shares with Steve Young, and this was a mark that's going to be very, very tough to ever overcome. Young to Rice, 4 touchdown passes, and those are the other active combos. Aikman to Urban all the way back at 46. Blake to Pickens, how about that?
Yeah, but Pickens is not even under contract right now. Wants out of Cincinnati, one of the 3 big-name wide receivers in the NFL that haven't come to contract.
Joey Galloway, the big 3rd down and 2.
And Rob Moore for the Arizona Cardinals.
And they convert here as the catch is made by Rodney Williams, and that's a 1st down.
How about Wade Wilson with a little shuffle back there? Not bad for a 40-year-old.
Lance Schulters with the blitz.
So you're 40 years old. What do you want to do? You want to have a guy draped all over you?
You know, the irony is here too that Wilson and Rich Gannon spent a few seasons together with Minnesota as Vikings in the late 80s and early 90s.
People who have had Rich Gannon as their starting quarterback have all talked about how competitive he is, how inspirational he is. Have a guy who's real bright, a guy that can, inspire his teammates. And this is exactly what this football team, the Raiders, need. A guy who can inspire their team and make everybody around him better. He might not have great statistics, but he might have a 1,000-yard rusher. He might have half the amount of sacks that the quarterback had last year. He might, you know, limit his turnovers and his interceptions, and those are the key ingredients for Rich County coming into this season for the Raiders.
First and 10 from the 37-yard line. Wilson buying time. Look out, loses the football, and then has the presence of mind to recover it himself as he was sacked and stripped by Shane Bonham.
You would think he'd realize to get rid of it.
Oakland has 1 timeout remaining.
You can only hold the ball so long in the NFL, and the defensive linemen are relentless. This is how they get their name in the paper, with the sack.
Now the 49ers are taking a timeout.
Minnesota, Green Bay, and then go to Minnesota the second
right.
week.
Second and 19. Blitz.
The blitz.
Wilson gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. Good coverage on the play, and Wade makes the acquaintance of one Lance Schulters on the safety blitz again. Sitting in his office scouting this game right now?
He might be. They're always looking for players. Everybody around the league is looking for players.
Third down and 19.
You go there, I go there.
And they keep it on the ground on third and 19, and it's Randy Jordan.
Now you got to call timeout for San Francisco.
They'll stop the clock. This is their last timeout. They'll get the. And Damon Griffin, who's a rookie from Oregon. Back to receive the kick. And Griffin feels it. Not particularly judiciously at the 36, but trying to make a little mark, and brings it back to the 39. Now, Garcia, so you figure, okay, he's back. Denson throws to Harris. And then they get the call in July. Mariota Charlie. Second and 5 without a timeout. Spencer throwing over the middle again, trying to work in the field goal range. Tommy Vardell.
You can see no timeouts left, actually. So
that's it. Are those commentators current? Are we still under contract
here? We got 3-on-3 over here.
And a 3-man rush. And a little swing. 7 seconds to go. Hail Mary knocked away, and that'll be the end of the half. Well, in New York tonight at Yankee Stadium at the bottom of the 5th inning, it's Oakland 4 and the Yankees 3. And in Oakland tonight at halftime, it is Oakland 5, San Francisco 3.
The test.
That's a good question.
Can you log on to ESPN.com and let us know how it went?
You can, and then somebody writes back at the top of the test, see me. Richie kicks off, fielded 5 yards into the end zone by Randy Jordan, who downs it there. And let's check in with Leslie.
Al, you remember that John Gruden told us he wants this team to have a defensive identity, and so far he is very pleased with that aspect of the game. As for the offensive line, you remember there were 67 sacks last year, a league high. Well, we've seen the end of that battle for left tackle. Rookie Matt Stinchcomb jammed his left shoulder, and he will not be returning. As for Steve Mariucci, he said he still doesn't know about their running attack, but that Lawrence Phillips will take the bulk of the snaps in the third quarter. Al.
Thank you very much, Leslie. So we'll see a lot of Lawrence. That's an interesting thing along the Raider line, too. And Bobby Hoying is the quarterback. So here's the newest Raider, who was picked up from Philadelphia the other day, and he hands the ball off to former Heisman winner Rashaan Salaam. So a lot of stuff to talk about here, beginning with Bobby Hoying, who was 2 years ago the Eagles starting quarterback with John Gruden as his offensive coordinator.
I saw his first start in the NFL up close and personal. He beat the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't remember. It was like 42-40 or 44-42. I actually outplayed him, but we lost. No, he had a great game. And when John Gruden left to come out here to become the head coach, Bobby Hoying was kind of lost. He didn't have the guy that he felt was his personal coach. And when the Philadelphia Eagles decided, we got to get rid of Bobby Hoying, John Gruden gladly took him and really wants to get a good look at him tonight to make sure that this is the same player that he had a number of years ago in Philly.
Out of Ohio State, second down and 6. And it's Rashaan Salaam at 30. And the Heisman winner from Colorado to the 38, a guy who was going to be the successor to the Walt Payton and Neil Anderson years in Chicago. Had a great rookie season with Chicago and then completely fizzled out.
Injuries, but Rashaan Salam is 6'1", 220. His nice hands right there. You can see he can break the tackles. Running backs have to break tackles. That's what coaches want to see. And what was nice about Bobby Hoyne, he didn't force it down the field. He took what was given to him. And they moved the ball and moved the chains.
First and 10 at the 38-yard line. Salam again. He had injuries. He was in a car wreck, and then he admitted he had a terrible marijuana addiction, which he's worked on, and he thinks that he has been rejuvenated by coming to the Raiders. But first things first, he has to make the team.
You know, it's another one of these kids that goes off on his own and kind of gets lost a little bit, and now is in a rebound effect mode where he has to try to find himself again. You know, how many more chances can you have? And that's I guess the purest form is wondering if he'll ever play again.
Second down and 8 from the 40-yard line. Good protection, and then underneath it is caught by Salam, but nice coverage right there by the linebacker Vernon Strickland, and a marker is down.
We might have illegal contact against the 49ers. And I believe it's going to be number 43. You want to pronounce that name, Al?
Well, let's let Phil Lucky call first.
I think that's who it is.
Illegal contact, defense, number 43. A 5-yard penalty with an automatic first down.
Well, you want to let me do it?
Well, that's not a bad one. Now that's only 5 syllables total.
I know. You want me to do that?
Go ahead.
That's Waswa, right? Waswa.
Right.
Sirwanga.
Good enough.
All right,
that's
pretty good.
A-, very good.
I'd have to give him a nickname if I were on the team with him. I'd call him Was. What's up, Was? How you doing?
Wassy. Went to UCLA. Actually started his college with his brother at Pacific. First and 10 at the 45-yard line. As Queen throws and guns one. That's caught by Rodney Williams for a big gain to the 29-yard line. Williams looking for a job. He fumbles the ball, and the Niners get it back. So here's Williams running a great route, making the catch, trying to cement a spot on the team, and then he fumbles it away.
The nice thing there, if you're John Gruden, is you're watching your old quarterback stand in the pocket, throw the ball over to a guy that he probably doesn't even know his first name because he just got here. Williams has got to put the ball away. Oh.
Kelly Malvo recovers.
He fumbles the ball. You can see right here. First of all, it is the correct call. It is a fumble. He's not down. His knee is off. But look at Corey Minor and the face mask. So if you're holding onto the ball, you're probably more worried about losing your head than losing the football.
Minor with a major face mask infection. As Lawrence Phillips takes the handoff from Jim Druckenmiller, so the new quarterback, and then we'll see a heavy dose, according to Leslie, from what Mariucci told Leslie at halftime, of Lawrence Phillips.
Well, this is the interesting story of the 49ers, drafted a year ago to be the heir apparent to Steve Young, but really doesn't fit the mold in terms of the size and the elusiveness that the 49ers covet in their quarterbacks. This is a big kid. This is 6'4", 6'5", 220, more like a Drew Bledsoe.
San Francisco, the Transamerica Pyramid, the Golden Gate Bridge behind, and then in the foreground the Bay Bridge, and pulling back into Oakland at dusk. That is a postcard.
The Druckenmiller is a bigger quarterback, a pocket quarterback, a guy like Troy Aikman, Drew Bledsoe, those types of players.
First and 5 after the flag, and this is Phillips running into all sorts of traffic.
And Bill Walsh likes his quarterbacks to be elusive. Don't have to necessarily be too big, as evidenced by Steve Young and Joe Montana. They have to be bright. They have to be able to withstand the pressure, the subtle movements, and then make plays when there are no plays to be made.
So Walsh behind the pole, and the consultant Harry Edwards, who's been with the organization for years. And there it is, talking about a guy who can be the workhorse. Garrison Hurst, 14 games, 20 or more carries, and you've got to find somebody who maybe doesn't have to carry it 20 times a game, but to give you the kind of pop you need and consistency you need. As Luckett whistles this play dead.
You know, and Allen in the West Coast offense.
False start offense, number 82. 5-yard penalty. It remains. Second down.
Sean Bell.
Play action passing is the key ingredient, because do a lot of faking to the running backs going one way and the quarterback going the other, and there's a lot of bootlegs and different types of things that you need in the running game. And hopefully Lawrence Phillips and Charlie Garner will be able to do that in the absence of Garrison Hurst.
Second down and 12. Druckenmiller has the pass tipped, and then it almost gets caught. It was tipped as it was intended for Damon Griffin, and then Sean Bell almost was able to pull it in.
Well, this kid has a good arm. There's no question about that. He's a competitor. They like his fiery spirit. He'll take a little bit off the ball, even though it's in slow motion right here. It's a little bit quick. Your receivers are about 5 or 6 yards away from you. The idea is to throw a catchable ball.
Third down and 12 against a 4-man front. Druckenmiller escapes, but then just has to throw it into the Raider bench. Tony Bryan put the pressure on. He's a rookie out of Florida State. So Druckenmiller trying to cement a spot, and Mariucci just scratching his head a little bit.
Well, I've been told by very good sources that the coaching staff is split. Do you take the hit on the salary cap and let him go, or do you keep him and see if he pans out for another year, or do you try to trade him? But I don't know if you can train a commodity that you've been kind of dissing a little bit here the last few weeks.
The ledger book figures into everything.
Yes.
Chad Stanley. That's a great punt. Fielded at the 16 line by Darian Gordon. A flag comes in on the run back.
That's got to be clipping or pushing in the back by number 53, Travian Smith.
Frank Gans Jr. looking on. 57-yard punt for Stewart's rookie, the kid who won the job, Chad Stanley, out of Stephen F. Austin. George says, that a baby.
Game of angles, and watch Smith come down here and just push number 82 Bell right in the back there. Albeit not a real significant push, but if it looks like a push, the officials are going to make that call.
Illegal block in the back, number 53, receiving team. The foul occurred during the return, 10 yards, first down.
Raiders get it. That'll back them up deep in their own end. 10:39 left in the third in the Bay Area on a sparkling night. 5-3 Raiders. Quarter. That is a live shot, and only
That's
in
a
the
shot
Bay
out of
Area.
my home right there, right on the waterfront.
Well, man, what'd you do? You must have won a lot of money, and so you want to be a millionaire, huh?
That's right.
First down from the 11-yard line. And this is Rashaan Salam moving through the middle for a gain of about 5. Well, there is John York, who is the husband of Denise DeBartolo. The DeBartolo family on the team for years, along with Bill Walsh. And there are some interesting behind-the-scenes situations that have developed with the 49ers, of course, over the past couple of years, with Eddie DeBartolo owning the team, but because of legal problems in Louisiana on suspension. A suspension handed down by Paul Tagliabue. Copeland makes the catch. Eddie, at least for the moment, does not have anything to do with the team as a penalty flag goes down. The man on the left, John York, is representing the 49ers in all league matters. Bill Walsh is the VP and general manager. Today, I talked to Eddie DeBartolo, who's moved his business operations to Florida, and he will live there on a part-time basis as well. And he said, as we get the call from Phil Luckett,
10-yard penalty, half the distance to the goal. It remains second down.
There is no agreement. In other words, there was an announcement about a month ago that Eddie had divested himself of his interest in the team. He said there is no agreement. We are working on one. The announcement was premature. Nothing is finalized. Attorneys are talking, and it's in the hands right now of a federal judge in Akron, Ohio, by the name of Dan Polster, who is adjudicating this since it's under his jurisdiction. He's a mediator and arbitrator. We'll get back to Eddie in a second on second down and 13. As the pass and holding is incomplete. DeBartolo did say, and he said, I'm telling you this for the record today. He said, if nothing is signed and finalized by the 1st of February, then put my name back on the parking space.
Oh.
Now, whether that means Eddie wants to get back with the 49ers or just wants to see this thing move toward a finalization is open to question. And what he means by February 1st is that's the date he is suspended until, but is no guarantee at that point that Tagliabue will necessarily reinstate him. 3rd down and 13. And that pass is knocked down. So I talked to John York about this before the game, and he said, look, I would like to talk to you about it, but I have been asked by the judge not to discuss this situation. We can talk about it at a later date, but because of the judge's request not to talk about it, he didn't want to respond to that when I mentioned what Eddie had said today.
This 5-minute Inside the NFL segment brought to you by ESPN.com.
Well, this is, you know, when you're talking about this franchise, though.
I know.
This is, I mean, this, as I said at the top, this is the Rolls-Royce franchise in the league, and when this goes on behind the scenes with the 49ers, it is news as Aragus punts, and a fair catch is called for at the 46-yard line, taken there by Damon Griffin. So the 49ers, both on and off the field, as a flag goes down, will be one of the more fascinating teams to watch.
No, it really is, and thankfully they do have Steve Young, they have Steve Mariucci, they have stability within the football team itself, and you just hope that this doesn't blow up into some sort of action for the players. And right there is Bill Walsh. He's going to do everything he obviously can to somewhat try to mend the fences between the two camps, and it's not an easy thing.
No, and Eddie, I must say, Eddie does not want this to blow up.
Holding receiving team number 15. The foul occurred during the kick. 10-yard penalty. First down.
In the meantime, Mariucci has other things on his mind, and we have 9:26 to go in the third. Still a baseball score. Stanford against Texas, or Virginia against UNC at Eastern. And then the national telecast, late Notre Dame, number 18 against Michigan. Irish coming off their win against Kansas. And this is Phillips. Finally brought down by Chuck Osborne. And let's go to Leslie.
Alan Boomer, one of your former teammates, Boomer, he said that this is Garrison Hurst, who says he thinks he'll play again. He hopes it's within a month. That's not what your doctors say, Garrison, but what is the prognosis on your broken leg?
Right now, I'm just kind of letting it heal, and, you know, Wednesday I'll get this boot off, so I'll start rehabbing even harder. I really want to be back sooner than they expect, but I'm just going to wait and see what they suggest.
The doctors were concerned about a vascular necrosis, the loss of blood supply to your ankle. Are you still worried about that?
I'm not. I think it's fine. You know, I said my prayers, and I'm going to let God handle things, and I'm going to go out and just let things work for myself and go out and try and handle my business.
Well, the important thing is, have you been able to teach Steve Young to dance while you've been out?
No, Steve has no rhythm at all. We'll let that one go.
We won't tell him. Back to you guys.
I think Garrison can dance better on crutches than without crutches.
I played with Garrison Hurst in Arizona. He's a terrific competitor, a great football player. Why in the world the Arizona Cardinals ever let him go? That's the biggest question mark. Oh.
Well, we just hope for his sake he's a great runner, that he's able to come back. There's a lot of question about it, obviously. 3rd down and 16. Druckenmiller guns it. That's incomplete. Good coverage intended for Benjamin. Sam Sword covering on the play.
No, it's really going to be hard point in the game to get a real feel for Lawrence Phillips, especially with the way that the Raider defense has been playing. When you get tackled in the backfield, it really doesn't matter who you have back there. Jim Brown, Walter Payton, you name it. You need some help at the offensive line, and right now they're not getting it at all.
Chad Stanley to do the punting. Rookie who's won the job out of Stephen F. Austin. Darian Gordon, highest return average in the history of the career punt return average. Waits under this one and fair catches it at the 27-yard line. 8:36 remaining in the third quarter. 5-3 Raiders. Oakland haven't been here in a couple of years for a Raider game. The black hole.
Now, what is the black hole?
The black hole, I think, is the what the dog pound would be in Cleveland.
Oh,
the black hole is in.
Because I saw that. From the other black hole.
Well, that's you don't win a spelling bee with that. Appreciate it anyway. 1st and 10 from the.
You don't miss anything.
I missed a few things. 1st and 10 from the 27. And Salam gets taken down behind the line of scrimmage by Angel Rubio.
You can see number 43, Sawanga, right there. They had a corner blitz coming off the outside, and another good defensive play call. If you're the defensive coordinators, the head coaches of these two teams, you're very happy with the way your defense is playing tonight.
Second down for 23.
Oakland led 5-0 at one point. Niners answered with a field goal. Ritchie has also missed a field goal that hit the upright. Otherwise, the Niners would be up by 1. Second and 14 from the 23-yard line. Ball start.
And you would expect this to be happening because Bobby Hoyne just got into camp a few days ago. John Gruden was telling us that he does not really know the names of the guys he's actually playing with.
False start. Offense number 61. 5-yard penalty. It remains. Second down.
That's Rob Rainville, a rookie from Washington State.
Let alone trying to figure out his snap count. Getting in there trying to direct people, you just start calling them by numbers. Hey 88, come over here and do this. And it's kind of it's an awkward situation when you become traded and you're there and you're thrust into a position where the coach knows you and he wants to see you and he actually puts you ahead of other players on the roster.
And opening day weeks away, second down and 19, so he has to be force-fed. They have one more preseason game to the Raiders. As Boylan throws, and that is caught, and the chain gang really pays the price, along with a man holding some audio equipment or camera equipment. Horace Copeland made the catch.
When Bobby Hoyne gets under the center, he's trying to read the defense, and they have what they called mirrored routes, meaning that the route is ran on both sides of the field, so he has to pick the way that the defense is kind of rolling. Right there, he throws a nice out ball, nice tight spiral, and he picked the right side. And these are things that John Gruden saw him do in Philadelphia and unfortunately was unable to do last year.
Third down and 9.
Here comes the blitz. Get rid of it.
And he does, and he's able to complete it as Kenny Shedd is able to beat Kelly Malvo on the pattern and pick up a first down.
But you're going to have holding.
And though, so negate the play. Phil Luckett brings it back.
Real nice feel by Bobby Hoyne that time, knowing that the blitz was coming, holding it, and then just lofting it out to his receiver.
Offense number 34. 10-yard penalty remains. Third down.
Second team fullback Jermaine Williams. 19 at the 17-yard line. He'll try to pick up some yardage on the ground, and Salam takes it up to the 23. Oakland will punt with 6:40 to go in the third quarter.
Pretty good.
Yep. Aragouz to punt. This is Damon Griffin fielding the floater at the 33, showing some nifty moves. Brings it to the 47, tackled by Calvin Branch. And let's.
Years he anchored the legendary Raiders secondary. He was considered one of the most fearful, most fearsome in the NFL. It is, of course, Jack Tatum. And Jack, you've seen a lot of Raiders secondaries. What are your impressions of Charles Woodson?
Well, I think Charles Woodson is destined to be a Hall of Famer. He came in last year and he never played like a rookie. Maybe that first game he played like a rookie, but after that he just showed true greatness, and I think he's going to be one of the great defensive backs ever to play in the game.
Can you describe how you played? I remember hearing you say once that you played until you broke a man's will to win.
Well, you always tried to play, and you played as hard as you could. And, you know, at some point in the game, you can almost feel it where the other team decides that it's not worth it, and maybe they'll try to play and win next week.
You remember, of course, the paralyzing hit on Darryl Stingley. Have you two ever been able to connect since then, and why not, if not?
No, unfortunately, we've never been able to connect, and we tried several times, and certain things always seem to get in the way, but I'm still hopeful that one day we will, and I'd like to do that.
You give a lot of people peace. Thanks very much to you, Jack. Back to you, Al.
Okay, thank you, Leslie. Jack Tatum on the sidelines tonight, as he normally is in Oakland. Second down, and Phillips gets dumped for a 2-yard loss. And Druckenmiller's pass is a terrible one, and he's lucky that it wasn't picked off, as Donald Donnell Day, a rookie from Cal State Northridge, had an opportune.
You know, it's something that this kid has got to put up with now for a while.
3rd and 12, and his first completion is a beauty because it's going to go for a touchdown to Damon Griffin. 55 yards to the rookie from Oregon.
And this is the West Coast offense at its best. Short little pass plays in between zones and seams and allowing your receiver to make a few guys miss and taking it all the way.
5, they go for a deuce here from the 2-yard line. And Druckenmiller throws, and that is incomplete. It's broken up in the end zone, intended for Freddie Beasley.
So that time I thought Druckenmiller picked his first receiver too quickly, had a wide open receiver in the back of the end zone. Poise, calm, find the guy and deliver the ball.
5:01 left in the third, 9-5. That normally means no overtime.
They're just letting the play happen before him and hitting him in the back of the end zone.
Wade Ritchie sends the kickoff to the 7-yard line. This is Tyrone Wheatley. Yes, the old Michigan and New York Giant. And Wheatley up to the 41-yard line. Another of the Raiders trying to win a spot. A reclamation project. Never cut it in New York. A kid out of Michigan. Looked like he had a great future. The Giants had very high hopes, but in his here he is just trying to win a job.
He really is.
56 touchdowns to the other guy's collective 32. Salam. Nothing. 2nd down 10 at the 41.
Here comes the blitz from the secondary. And Bobby's actually audibly trying to give signals to guys he doesn't even know.
Play clock down to 2. A wobbler, and it is caught. It is pulled in by Kenny Shedd, and that's the second time he's gotten free. There's a flag down, 2 of them, in fact, near midfield.
That's going to be a penalty against the Raiders. Number 80, the wide receiver. They ran a pick play, and you're not allowed to do that. And that's what they audibled to it. That's Horace Copeland.
Pass interference, offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty.
He's got a
2nd down.
Secured in that shot. The great Raider receiver, now an assistant coach. 2nd down. Coyne throws and showing a good arm, and that one's caught by Horace Copeland. So pick and choose.
Well, if you're John Gruden, you look like a genius now for picking up Bobby Hoyne, and Bobby Hoyne is just firing the football all over the stadium, and this looks like he has a real good command of makes up for his boo-boo.
He does. 1st and 10, the ball at the 41-yard line. Coyne, everybody covered after good ball handling. Run downs at the 37-yard line for a short gain.
For him right now is that he has John Gruden calling the plays, and when they get down inside the red zone, they're going to throw the football.
Ball starts. Offense, number 80. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
Well, that's Copeland.
And their quarterbacks usually put up good numbers.
2nd down and 12. And this is Tyrone Wheatley. And in the middle of that process with all of these assistant coaches, even though Walsh may have not have had huge an influence, but 3rd down and 9 from the 40-yard line. Coyne fires, caught over the middle. It's Shedd again. And Schulters finally knocks him out of bounds at the 12-yard line.
Bobby Hoyne standing big in the pocket, stepping up, setting a landmark for the defensive lineman to shoot for, and stepping up in the pocket like a good pro should, and allowing his offensive lineman to push those defensive linemen around him. Watch. Step up, keep the ball alive, keep your head up, and throw the ball on them accurately, on the money, on the move. That's pretty special stuff right there, Al. If he can continue to do that, he's going to find himself a lot of playing time in this offense with John Gruden.
28-yard reception. He had an earlier 28-yarder to Copeland. It's 1st and 10 from the 12. And Wheatley loses a yard, maybe 2.
Throw the ball in the seams.
2nd and 12 from the 14-yard line. Knocked down. Schulters knocking it down. And there is no flag intended for Isaiah Mustafa. A lot last year, and they ranked near the bottom of the league.
That was because of their quarterback problems last year and ineffective at the position.
3rd and 12, and that is into the end zone and incomplete, and broken up at the last moment by Corey Blackwell. Michael Husted This will be a 30 attempt. And we've seen a lot of games through the years, but I can't recall ever seeing any game in my lifetime where at any point the score was 9-8. But that's what it is. Maybe it's an ode to Tom Harmon, old number 98.
Because of it, he says the competition's been great.
Houston with a shorter kick this time. Damon Griffin from the 12. And Griffin brings it back out to the 32-yard line. Waiting seconds of the third quarter. Phillips and Beasley in the backfield. Pass is caught. And this is Morris Anderson, who is a rookie from Baylor, making the grab up at the 42-yard line. 8. And we'll return to Oakland right after this from our ABC stations.
Look at this.
Okay.
Oh, this gets beautiful, isn't it?
All right, as we start the fourth quarter, this is Lawrence Phillips with a nice run to the outside. Phillips, prior to that run, had carried the ball 7 times for 8 yards with a long of 12, which tells you he's been losing yardage on a lot of runs tonight. So he's showing, Boomer, I think he's showing a little bit of what he has, and you can see why the 49ers would go out and get him. And Bill Walsh, of course, and Steve Mariucci just want to see more consistency.
They do want to see more consistency, but realistically, he hasn't had an opportunity. The last few times they've handed him the ball, the Raider defense has been in the backfield, but now, because of the substitutions and things, he should be able to do a few more things.
First and 10 from the 44-yard line. And that pass is caught. And this is Harris, who's out of bounds. First down at the Oakland 40-yard line. And let's go to Leslie and her good buddy.
He is my good friend, Al and Boomer. 13 years in the league altogether now, the only man with 5 Super Bowl rings. Charles Haley, what made you decide to come back to the NFL?
The love for the game, and plus I miss seeing you on the sideline, Leslie.
Oh, thank you, Charles.
Oh,
your daughter has been suffering from leukemia. She's 5 years old. How is she doing, Brianna?
She's doing great right now. She's in remission. That's one of the pluses that made me want to come back and play, because watching her fight through it, and then me being back and fulfill one of my goals.
You've been so tough for so long. How many plays are you expected to play for the 49ers?
Well, you know, they told me 20 and 25, but you know, I don't know.
Did you ever sack Boomer Esiason?
Oh God, did I sack him? I used to knock him out. You know, hey, he used to just go, Charles, I'll give you half of my game check if you don't hit me no more.
God, goodbye. Back to you guys.
Did you guys script that? Are you or what? Boomer's going to make a comeback now. Second down and 7.
He did whack me a few times, you know.
At the 41. And Druckenmiller throws, and that is incomplete, intended for Morris Anderson.
They have a flag down, too. I think there's going to be holding inside by a linebacker on a tight end, I believe. Charles Haley, one of the true characters. Boy,
He reminded me of George Foreman. That's how George Foreman would promote a fight. You know, did I sack him?
I know. He was beautiful. And he did do a lot of talking on the field.
Holding defense number 53. 5-yard penalty with an automatic first down.
Trevian Smith out of Oklahoma. And it's a first down for the 49ers at the Oakland 36-yard line. Well, 2 weeks from tonight, my friend.
We get to see Dan Marino, Jimmy Johnson.
And Brian Griese, apparently, too.
But, you know, Terrell Davis is going to be there anywhere. It doesn't really matter who's playing quarterback, I guess. I certainly would have loved to handed it off to him a few times.
Yeah, as Elway did. And, of course, you know, John Elway will have his number retired at halftime that night. That's really going to be a spectacular way to open up this season.
You know, they have some of the great fans in all of football. And to be able to give their farewell to John Elway, I'm sure will be a very emotional night.
They begin the road to what they hope will be a third Super Bowl championship. That's 2 weeks from tonight from Mile High Stadium, Miami against Denver, as Druckenmiller throws complete. The second week of the season, just looking ahead at that schedule a little bit, is Atlanta at Dallas. Can Atlanta do it again? Can they validate what took place last year? And what about Dallas? And then the third week of the season, Boomer, it's on to Sun Devil Stadium, the 49ers against Arizona.
You know, Arizona has kind of been a team that has been very disappointing in preseason thus far. Jake Plummer's got hurt. They've lost Jameer Miller to the Browns. They've lost Lomas Brown to the Browns. Rob Moore is still not signed. One of their draft picks, Shelton, is not signed. So there's a franchise where everybody thought this could be their year. It is absorbing some bumps right now.
Yes, they are, and so is Druckenmiller, thanks to Chuck Osborne busting through. So a good defensive series for the Raiders as they push the 49ers back to the 46-yard line. Take a look at the replay. Behind us.
Oh, there it is, right in the screen behind me. Somebody's got a guy. That's the only thing I can tell you right there.
Pretty simple.
You better block that guy.
Very nice. I like the digs up here with the bridge.
Yes.
And the whole,
nice.
You know, it looks like the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. I mean, you have the two of the greatest bridges in the world, and we have a shot from New York, from Staten Island. Hey, it's preseason. 3rd and long from the 46.
Now we have a down clock, and this is one of the things that you do not want to do when you're a veteran quarterback.
Offense. 5-yard penalty remains. 3rd down.
It gets a little hairy, Al. You're right over the 50-yard line. You have a chance to get into field goal range. And part of the poise of being a quarterback is getting in and out of the huddle, watching the down clock, making sure that you're aware of what's going on around you. And you could see Druckenmiller not even paying attention.
Not even close.
Well, this is where it gets hairy for the quarterback. The defensive linemen pin back and they come after you. You don't have to force something downfield. Just get something that can give you a chance to get into field goal range.
3rd and 25. Over the middle. That's caught at the 39. Flag down again as the game begins to get ragged. Caught by Klein. Tony Klein.
And you'll have movement again on the offensive line this time.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty remains. 3rd down.
Gertrude.
So now with Brian Griese starting in Denver, is the AFC wide open now? Is it still Denver's to lose?
A lot of people seem to feel the best team in the conference is Jacksonville.
Well, I could think of a whole bunch of people in Miami and New York that think otherwise.
Yes. 3rd down and 30. Meanwhile, the crowd is in full throat, midseason voice, and they just give it to Phillips to pick up some yardage. Breaks the tackle, takes the ball across the 50, and they'll punt from that spot. Sam Sword makes the tackle. Here's a reminder that following the game, you can tune into ESPN for SportsCenter's Monday Night Football postgame show. Live reports and analysis from right here at something called the Network Associates Coliseum, formerly the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum.
So in the NFC, you have Atlanta coming back. You have Minnesota coming off a 15-1 year. It looks pretty good. The Giants look like they're improved.
Punt by Chad Stanley. Fair catch signaled. And then the ball is allowed to bounce. And it is not saved before crossing the goal line. The 49ers are going to argue the call as Joe Wesley got down there but could not make the touch before it crossed the goal line. Raiders will have 20. First action is a Raider. Connects here with Horace Copeland. That's a 28-yard reception. Then he comes the other way. Picks up a small gain, running it to the sideline, and then connecting again here with Kenny Shedd. And that was a 28-yard pickup. So Hoying looking good on that series.
He really is looking good, and John Gruden's got to be very, very happy with the way he's playing tonight. Just keep building on it and going with it. He's very familiar with this offense. It's the same offense in Philadelphia.
From the 20-yard line. Wheatley is the running back in the set. And Hoying fires, and it's knocked down, incomplete. Pass intended for number 80, Horace Copeland, knocked down by Serwenga.
Well, Horace Copeland has to come back to the football, extend his arms, and catch it with his hands, and don't give Serwenga a chance to knock the ball down by allowing it to get into your chest, and that's exactly what happened there.
Golden sunset. From the 20, 1st and 10. And that's thrown away. Intended for Kenny Shea. You know, you look at John Gruden's Raiders here and their quarterback situation. They don't have Steve Young. I mean, there aren't too many Steve Youngs, but then when you get past Young, the Niners have all kinds of trouble. And the Raiders have the veteran Wilson in case something happens, and the emerging, what they hope will be an emerging Bobby Hoying.
Well, absolutely. I think that they have to feel pretty good about it. And John Gruden, one thing coaches like to do in the NFL is they like to bring in guys that they are comfortable and familiar with, and that's exactly why he went out and got Hoying.
3rd and 10. Hoying facing the blitz, and the pass is then picked off at the 39-yard line, and the 49ers get it back on a Tonya Jones interception. A Toya pick of a bomb thrown by Bobby Hoying.
One of the reasons that interceptions happen is because quarterbacks throw balls before they really want to, and Bobby Hoying knows he has to get rid of this ball because he gets leveled right as he throws the football.
Toya
Nice
Jones with a pick.
Jones. Oh, man.
We had some for the last hour and a half.
Here's Toya Jones making a tremendous interception, and the officials called him down by contact right there. That's why the ball is back at the 38-yard line.
Jeff Garcia to take over as the quarterback from the Canadian Football League, and his first pass is caught, taken in by Morris Anderson. Garcia is the kind of guy who's been described as a good player in the game, but a guy who impress you and doesn't really practice well.
Well, the interesting thing is he is almost a carbon copy of Steve Young in terms of his size. He's a guy that runs around, he makes plays, he's elusive. You can see what some of the other guys did tonight. Stenstrom 8 for 14, Druckenmiller 3 of 9, and that one TD.
2nd and 3 from the 44. And now the first carry of the night for Jamie Kimbrough, a rookie from Fresno State. 3rd and short, and we go to Leslie.
Al, we all remember his last-second touchdown against Green Bay. It was so dramatic. He's out tonight with a little bit of an injured shoulder. Terrell Owens, how are you?
I'm doing fine. You know, the shoulder's getting better and better, and, you know, I should be ready for the season opening.
Doesn't it seem like there's an all-pro team right here on the sidelines of the 49ers?
Well, yeah, I mean, we got a lot of great athletes here. So, you know, everybody's going out trying to compete for a job, and everybody's having fun right now.
What is the attitude between you and Jerry Rice? He holds every NFL receiving record, but you've now become the guy.
Well, you know, everybody's wanting me to be the go-to guy, but, you know, I keep telling people he's the man, I'm the man next to the man. So until he leaves, you know, I'm going to be next to the man.
Well, some people have said it's sort of like a David Robinson, Tim Duncan. There's enough to go around.
Right, you know, I mean, I'm pretty confident in my ability to go out there and make plays. If they want me to play the role of Tim Duncan, I feel like I can do that.
Good, so far so good. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Leslie. Well, Tim Duncan, David Robinson collaborating with the San Antonio to win a championship. That's an analogy I think that Jerry Rice first brought to the public's attention in a couple of interviews from the 49-yard line. Pass is caught by Tony Klein, and of course the pass to which Leslie referred in the playoff game against the Green Bay Packers, with just a few seconds left on the clock, and something that we highlighted at the beginning of our show tonight. A great play as Steve Young almost falls down on his way back, and then with the advancement in the playoffs on the line, Owens over the middle in a passel of white shirts, and it was on to Atlanta. where they lost to the Falcons.
It's amazing to me that the Green Bay Packers left the center of the field open like that for Terrell Owens to go down there and make that play.
Kimbrough on 2nd down and 5 wrestles his way to the 43. It'll be 3rd down and a yard and a half or so. There is Bob McKittrick, a great guy, a terrific offensive line coach. He is fighting his own battle right now with cancer, which emanated in the bile duct. He's undergone radiation but a guy who through it all is out there working with a blocking sled in his offensive line.
It's just unbelievable inspiration for his teammates, and not only his teammates, I'm sure everybody in the NFL knows what he's going through, and to watch him just sit there and just get himself so in touch with the game while he's going through this is really a tremendous story.
3rd down and 2. Garcia on a roll again, looking, and then just tries to dump it off, and Bucket throws the flag as Roderick Coleman undercut him.
I think he's going to call intentional grounding. Yes, there it is.
And he is.
But to go back to Coach McKittrick, you know, a lot of these offensive line coaches in the league are guys that lock themselves in the room and just watch film for hour after hour after hour. And I'm sure that he being a part of the NFL and being there.
The penalty is 10 yards, loss of down, making it 4th down.
Going through the day-to-day rigors as an NFL offensive line coach is helping him with his therapy because, you know, you're there, you're active, you're doing what you've always loved to do.
And he's with Pat Morris right now, who started as the tight ends coach, and now Pat has really kind of taken over a lot of the duties of the offensive line coach as well. On that call there, with you, if you're wondering about throwing the ball away outside the tackle box, which he did, at least you have to make an effort to throw it at somebody.
He was at the ground,
right?
Trying to throw
right. So in other words, if you do it to save yourself and you throw it and somebody's sort of in the neighborhood, you get away with it, but not there. Chad Stanley. Caught at the 14-yard line by Kenny Shedd. 7:44 remaining in the 4th quarter in the Bay Area. A sparkling night. 9-8 49ers. And as the Raiders over at their own 14-yard line, it is 1st and 10. At the far end of the field, and both ends are closed in this place. So they'll operate from south to north as if we're doing a radio broadcast. On 1st down, this is Wheatley swinging to the outside. And Pearson Trillo makes the tackle. This preseason special being brought to you by Bud Light. They won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light. Burger King. When you have it your way, it just tastes better. And the Home Depot, America's home improvement coach. Speaking of coaches, and it's a sad story to have to report, but one of the really great guys, Fritz Shermer, the longtime assistant with most recently Green Bay, and before that the Rams and other teams, passed away today in Green Bay. As Bobby Hoying throws, and that is dropped. And Boomer, you knew him very well. He's not only a wonderful, wonderful coach, a great sense of humor, and a fabulous man, and to his wife Peggy and their 3 children, our deepest sympathies. He was very special.
Always a difficult guy to play against because he had multiple defenses. He always seemed to bring up something special for any particular game or a particular quarterback he was playing against, and it just happened so fast, and it's such a sad day for all of us in the NFL.
It was cancer, and he was going to go with Mike Holmgren to Seattle, the defensive coordinator there, but it wasn't to be. 3rd and short. Hoying throws into traffic and is able to pick up the 1st down because forward progress nets him that. Flag down. Mickens made the catch, but an illegal shift or motion.
Illegal motion. You're going in motion across the formation. You have to stay parallel to the line of scrimmage. You cannot have forward or actually go forward towards the line of scrimmage.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat, 3rd down.
Things you practice, you can see right there, things you practice every day, easy. You know, you could just go in motion, no problem, and you can see the coaches just they hate that. And you can see here, watch number 85 go in motion. He's going across parallel and then heads towards the line of scrimmage before the snap of the ball. And you practice it every day, and then you get out here in the game, the guy gets nervous and penalty.
3rd down 8.
Get rid of it.
Blitz, pressure, sack. Bronson. Not Charles, Zach Bronson. The great escape.
The nice advantage point that we have up here, I can see the blitz coming from out of the secondary. Sometimes it's not so easy to see it when you're underneath center and your attention is focused elsewhere to see what kind of coverage you might have outside. But young quarterbacks sometimes have a hard time seeing the entire field.
San Francisco, Araguz in punt formation.
4th down and 9. Araguz to punt. Fielded at the 47-yard line. And Benjamin is out of bounds at the 49. Directional punting.
And what does directional punting mean? Just kick it outside the numbers, cut down the angles for the defenders. Don't let the punt returner have a three-way go.
6:35 left. Had the ball at the Oakland 48-yard line. John Gruden really giving it to his receivers after that last series.
You know, he laced into Terry Mickens for that illegal motion call. And those, like I said, those are the little things that you should not be making those mistakes. There's no reason to make those mistakes as a receiver.
He gave Mickens the Dickens while we were away. 1st down at the 48-yard line for San Francisco. And Garcia throws, and that out is too far out for one Morris Anderson. 2nd down and 10.
Interesting how Garcia got onto this roster. You know, his dad actually called Bill Walsh after the CFL season was over and said, hey, you know, my son was the MVP. You know, he played good. You should look at this kid. He's competitive. And I should have my dad call a few people.
I don't think he has to promote you. If you said the word.
There must be something going on out here on the West Coast.
2nd down and 10 to the 48. Kimbrough.
And Terry Donahue was telling me before the game that they're very happy with him, and certainly that his father was is a football coach as well, and knows what he's talking about. Garcia is athletic. He has he's elusive. He's able to get away. There's Terry right there. He's the player personnel director for the 49ers. And they like him, and he fits the mold more so than a Druckenmiller, who's a big, strong kid. This kid is elusive. He runs well. He's about the same size as Steve Young.
Calvin Branch is the man who is shaken up and gets the attention. Monday Night Football 2 weeks from tonight. The 30th year gets underway for real. Miami at Denver. The 2-time Super Bowl champion Broncos. Hopeful of a three-peat this year. Announcing today Brian Griese is the new #1 quarterback. Terrell Davis and company. John Elway's number to be retired at the half against the great Dan Marino. Jimmy Johnson bringing the Dolphins to town. What a way to begin our season.
You know, so who do you like? Tell me who you like. I mean, who, like, if you said right now, who are that's your Super Bowl pick?
It's sort of become a tradition on the show to pick our, you know, I hate to tell you this, Paul, but we haven't come close. But I like Jacksonville. I really do. I think they're the cream of the AFC, and in the NFC, give me a second. Give me your AFC first.
Now you're not going to think I'm a homer if I say the Jets, do you? You're not going to hold that against me, are you?
Hofstra? 3rd down and 5.
They were awful close last year, Al.
There is Garcia. And he works his way for a 1st down. In the NFC, you know, I think Minnesota is the most talented team, but I think when a team has everything go right one year, you don't know what's going to happen the next year. I think they have the most talent. I guess I am going to pick them.
You're going to take Minnesota.
Well, yeah. I mean, I keep thinking, you know, long enough to know everything goes right one year, and then the next year to have everything go right again doesn't happen very often. But that team is remarkably talented. Denny Green is a wonderful coach. So I guess kind of the chalk pick these days.
It is. I mean, that's easy, Al. I mean, come on.
All right. How about
I mean, I could say Jacksonville, Minnesota. Anybody could say that. I mean, everybody is saying that.
Okay. In that case,
give me something else.
My backup pick.
Your backup.
In case it happens, it's like picking an 86-1 shot in the Kentucky Derby. I think the Rams meet the Bengals when we do Super Bowl 34 in Atlanta on January 3rd.
That's not happening.
All right.
Well, I like the Jaguars. There's no question. They actually have the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Browns on their schedule. You know, 6 teams that they will be heavily favored over.
6 games, right?
6 games, right? But for some reason, though, I like the Jets. They were close last year. I think they're better this year than they were last year. That would be my team, and I like Green Bay after watching them last week.
Okay. All right,
so I want the Jets in Green Bay.
So the bottom line is you say Jets, Green Bay. I say Minnesota, Jacksonville.
Right.
Okay.
And I like the Jets to go all the way.
And the winner gets what?
A dinner with you.
No. Regis is going to give the winner $1 million.
Yeah, right, okay.
Right?
So who do you have going? Who do you
Minnesota,
have?
Jacksonville.
And who's winning?
Jacksonville.
Okay. But it should be a great season.
No question.
Right. There are so many teams that are so with the retirement of John Elway, especially in the AFC. It's got to be wide open. Miami's going to be better. The Jets should be as good, if not better. Seattle's going to be better, right?
Third and Oakland, you would think, with Mike Holmgren there. 3rd down and 10. And Garcia escaping. Floating one. How about that? Rolling the reverse way and then hitting Benjamin. Now that is improvisation.
And that's being elusive and being aware and being poised and not getting nervous and throwing the ball with touch and accuracy. You see, he's 6'1", 195. He's not a real big guy, but neither is Steve Young. But watch this. Watch how he moves up in the pocket, eludes a rush right there, breaks a tackle right there, keeps his eyes down the field, pointing down the field. Not a pretty throw. You could have shot that, but.
So they're on the move, and they're chewing up the clock as well. Ball at the 14-yard line. Kimbrough slicing to the outside and going nowhere. After week, it's pretty terrific.
The end of that schedule should have some serious playoff implications.
Garcia throws, and it's caught for a touchdown by Benjamin. Nail Benjamin, who played his college football up the road in Strawberry Canyon in Berkeley at the University of California for the touchdown.
What a nice throw by Garcia. Here's this West Coast offense down in the red zone.
Now the extra point by Richie, and that makes the margin 8. 2-3.
Keep them in a lot of games.
If the season was indicative of how a team would play in the regular season, Marv Levy would have been a shoe salesman.
Right.
This is Wheatley out of bounds, and a flag comes in at the 24-yard line. Marv Levy traded today to the AFC West as they sent him to Seattle, and he gets reunited there with Mike Holmgren. Toying throws, that's caught. And it's a first down. Rodney Williams. They go into the hurry up here, conserving their timeouts.
Another good situation to see a young quarterback 2-minute drill.
And they have 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning, so in effect 4 timeouts. Ton of time. That's caught up at the 39-yard line. Hauled in by Rodney Williams. And they come to the 2-minute warning, which maybe did they call a timeout before the 2-minute warning? 2-minute warning, no. First down for the Raiders. They have all 3 timeouts. It'll swing to Wheatley. He's out of bounds there, stopping the clock with a $1.50.
Well, with a few guys missing, but he had a lot of holes to fill coming in. And he still does.
2nd down and 6. And that's incomplete. Pass a little high. For a kid like, I mean, Jim Mora, you think of him 2 years ago, fantastic defense, and then last year, because of a lot of injuries, a very leaky defense, then good defense right here. As that was Pearson Prelo, the rookie from Virginia Tech.
You guys.
Thanks, Les. This is 4th down. They go for it. It's knocked away. It's picked off. It's intercepted. It's Prelo. And this rookie is making a real mark here in the 4th quarter.
I don't think we need to see the dance at the end of the thing.
Well, I'll take all tips you'll give me.
I know you will.
First down at the 31-yard line.
And you'll expect me to leave the tips.
Absolutely. And this is Kimbrough. And we'll see what the Raiders want to do here. If they're inclined to stop the clock, because the 49ers are just going to let it tick down as much as they can. John Gruden, you know, we were talking about fathers and sons before. His father is a scout, a longtime scout for the 49ers, and his brother coaches in the Arena League, is the coach at Orlando, a team that's been to whatever the Arena Bowl championship, Arena League championship is each year. The last 2 years, 1 win, 1 loss. Look at that mug, huh?
Oh, I'm telling you. He can't be happy at all about this.
No, he figured that they'll just let the clock run down.
But I look back at the beginning part of this game, the 49er offense really didn't do too much. And that defense was coming. It was getting after the quarterback. They got to the 49er quarterback quite a bit tonight. Might not have been in sack numbers, but certainly in hits and pressures.
And Steve Mariucci,
who's saying thank you, nobody's hurt.
A gray beard at 43, and then the Hall of Fame coach Bill Walsh, now the general manager, with his troops down on the field. Great thing about this road trip for the 49ers is they'll take a bus and they'll sleep in their own beds in a few hours, as this one ticks down in Oakland. And it will end with the 49ers doubling the count on the Oakland Raiders. Steve Young played in the first half, and he gets ready for what he hopes will be another stellar season. Mariucci beginning his 3rd year at the helm, shaking hands with John Gruden at midfield. And this capacity crowd at the Coliseum here in Oakland has just watched the 49ers win it by a score of 16-8. And we will write a finish to this from the Bay Area after this.